I wonder if this loss of saltiness, this loss of taste, could be true of you. I wonder if it could be true of the church where you attend. I wonder if it could be true of the church in general in Canada. I know it's true of the church in the United States. I hear it again and again and again and again and again wherever I travel. People tell me how far they have to drive to find a church that preaches the Word of God. This loss of saltiness has opened the floodgates for evil in the nation because there's no restraint anymore. It's like a dam break, and there's nothing to hold back the escalating multiplication of forces of darkness. And there's no longer, just even in the common life of a nation, the fear of God. There was a time when even unbelievers had a conscience that feared God. And when the salt loses its savor, it then leads to liberalism. It leads to socialism. It leads to communism. It leads to totalitarianism. It leads to atheism on steroids. Because the salt is no longer salty. That's why Peter said, judgment must begin in the house of God. So Jesus continues after these strong words. In verse 14, he makes a second pronouncement. And these are in tandem together. You are the light of the world. This presupposes how dark the world is. This presupposes that the God of this age, the prince of this world, the power behind the thrones of this world, that darkness is present and it's suffocating. And Jesus says to his disciples, you and no one else, you and you only are the light of the world. It's not the school board. It's not the public school teachers. It's not the judges. It's not the government officials. Jesus points to the believers and says, you are the light of the world. Now, Jesus Christ in John 8, verse 12, and in John 9, verse 5 says, I am the light of the world. And he, in the truest sense, is the only light of the world. He is God in human flesh, come to bring the knowledge of God the Father and the light of saving grace in a dark world. But as Christ lives in us, it's as though the light of Christ is within us. And as we live our lives as the salt of the earth, his light is to shine out of us into the darkness of this world. That's why we're still here. You do understand that once you're saved, that worship is a whole lot better in heaven than it is here. Fellowship is a whole lot better in heaven than it is here. But there's something here, which is why God has left us here after we're converted. And it is to be the salt and the light that we could not be in heaven in the way that we are to be it here.